You're listening to Estrogen Dropouts.
Welcome back to Estrogen Dropouts. I'm one of your hosts, Elizabeth.
And I'm your other host, Erin. A few weeks ago, Elizabeth and I asked on our social media for followers, listeners, friends to send us questions for an episode. And so today we're going to be sharing some of the questions that we received and then our personal answers, right? I mean, not saying that we're right in what we share, but just what we feel like we would do in the situation or how we feel about it. So we've done this before. It was a really popular episode and we decided that we wanted to do it again because it's so much fun, isn't it, Elizabeth?
It is. And the questions are all over the place. So if, one doesn't resonate with you, hang in there because they are really very different in their range.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There wasn't like a particular theme.
No, it's like they're kind of all over the place.
Yeah. So,
All right. So let's start with the first question. This actually comes from a good friend of mine. And she says that she has an adult brother who is mooching off of their aging parent. And she's concerned there might be a drug or a porn addiction going on top of it. But they have an aging parent, single aging parent that is having a health issue, a major health issue, and the sibling is mooching and she does not know what to do about it. This one I've thought about so much and it's hard.
this is hard. So let me ask you this. Does the brother live with the aging parent?
Yes. And is like,
He's living back at home as an adult. Has he ever lived out? I wonder, do you know?
I did not ask any questions because I wanted to keep it more.
Yeah, general.
I wanted us to be able to talk about it. So maybe it wouldn't be just for her situation. That way we could kind of cover it if other people were experiencing something similar. But so if he's in his 50s, he's living with an unwell aging parent, and she's concerned about just the mooching and the money and all of that. They are out of state to her. So, when I first got her question, it's hard, but my very first reaction was, how does the parent feel about this? Is this something that the parent is unaware of and they're just so grateful that the adult child is living with them because they are getting near the end of their life. And if that is the case and having the son with them is bringing the dad comfort, it might be worth it in that case so that he's not alone.
Yeah. So I have a similar situation in my family. My oldest sister lives with my mom. After she was divorced, she moved back. And I have mixed feelings about it as well because I'm like, she really should be, like not living, because she doesn't contribute financially to the household. But then I'm also, and I actually had some resentment over it to my mother for years and actually even to my sister. But I had to finally just it's not my circus. It's not my monkeys in the sense of it's my mom's choice. And my mom is elderly, but she's not aging. My mom is very vibrant, has a very full life. So the only thing that would bug me in her case is if the brother is doing anything that could put the father at risk. So if he's, risky behavior with drugs, like if he's having drug dealers come to the house, that would be a definite, this man needs to move out.
And it's like, what kind of drugs are we talking about? Are we talking about smoking dope every day?
Yeah.
Is that a functioning healthy adult?
No. But right. That's why I'm saying.
If we're talking about meth, that's a different level.
Right. If he's manufacturing meth in his dad's garage,
or even buying it, then you've got drug dealer issues happening. If we're just talking about pot, I don't know. There's a level there.
And as long as he's not making the father take care of him, in other words, the father isn't having to do extra, he's not doing the son's laundry and he's not making all the meals for the son and the son picking up after the son. But then also, so, you're like, well, if he's just, it's like somebody's there in case something happened to the father, like if the father is having health issues and he falls. And that's kind of how I've come to peace with it for myself, is that, my mom has somebody living there with her. So, I mean, she is 83. So, she could have something happen, and having somebody that lives there with her to like be there is nice. And also just safety wise. I mean,
Yeah.
that she's not, and plus her house is big. I mean, it's a 4-bedroom house. So it's not a space issue. It's not a space concern. So I think, I think where it is that, the daughter is going through what I went through, where she's probably feeling like she's mad at the brother for like, you're mooching off dad. Basically, you're a grown fucking man. Get on your out and take care of yourself. And then also she's probably feeling resentment to her dad. Like, why are you letting, him take advantage of you? But she has to realize, this is also what I did. And then I'll let you share. I know I'm like hogging what I sharing, but this one is so like triggering for me. I think that I finally had to decide that my mom was allowing it. And so I can't have a problem with something that she's allowing. So you can't control other people. And so like your friend, if her dad is like okay with it, then it's really none of her business.
True. Very true. It is hard. I think that so my friend and her husband are like, um, productive members of society, like, good finance decisions and all of these things. I think that if there was a way that the father would let them audit his finances, because I think that is also likely a concern. She didn't express this to me. I would assume that would be my concern. Like, are you using dad's money to buy drugs or to pay for porn or just to live like a lazy bum? Like, that's not okay. So I think I would say, hey, like, as you have this health issue coming up, that we are really good with money. Let us like audit and see what we can do, like, just to make sure that you have care and all of that. And so, like, and then that is measurable. And if you see like ATM withdrawals, if you're seeing like craziness, and then that the son, like, and dad's not going to the ATM every week and taking out money, then that would likely be the son. And then that is something you could actually bring to the dad and say, hey, like, what are these ATM withdrawals? Because he could possibly not know, or he could possibly know. But I think an audit of the finances would be good. And then setting some soft and hard boundaries, like saying, okay, so dad, when we looked at your finances, like, you have to have the lawn cut, you need, like, you need your home cleaned. Like, that's something with elderly. That's how they don't do a good job of cleaning their showers and their bathroom, and everything's gets dusty. It's not helpful. So you can say, is it okay with you if like we're the bad guy and we tell the brother, like, hey, like, we've looked over dad's finances. We're going to start like kind of controlling this ship now with the finances. Like, I know you live with him, but in order to live there, we would like you to mow the lawn. We'd like you to buy the groceries. We'd like you to whatever. And then maybe do like the soft things, I would think, were like the minimum that he should be doing just for living there for free. And then if you want him to do other things, if he is taking money from the father, maybe pay him instead for an actual thing that he does, a service that you'd end up having to pay somebody else for it. Not like, to me, that's like why I've never paid my kids for chores. I feel like household chores are like, it's just, you
It's
live
part of
here.
being a part of the family.
Yeah. So I never paid them to do things like, you have to clean your bathroom because that's what you do. You have to take out the trash because we do that here. But like, there are other extra things like, I don't know exactly what that would be off, but like running him to his doctor's appointments, even though you would think you should do that as a child living there, but maybe give him extra money for that or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Or maybe, I mean, yeah, if he like has to, do some kind of maintenance on the house above and
Yeah.
beyond normal maintenance. I will say this though. So if the daughter approaches the father and says to the father, we're really good with money. We'd like to help, make sure. And if the father refuses, then she has got to like
Yeah.
be okay with it. And just
Definitely.
say, she doesn't need to let it affect her relationship with her father, because especially if he's older and in bad health, she's not going to have him for who knows how long. And then, she can then decide the relationship with the brother, if she wants to, set boundaries and not have a relationship with him after the dad's gone,
Yeah,
hopefully
and she
the
can
dad
even ask she'd ask me about intervention for the brother too, and here's the thing, it's like, I think at this stage, I can't see I've known a few people in my life that have had drug issues, and until they are ready for help, they will not receive it well. Life, any type of not even just drug, like, if you need financial help, if you need whatever, like, until you're ready to change your life yourself, you will not receive the offer well, and so I think at this stage, he's in his 50s.
I think he's pretty much set in his ways.
Yeah. 'Cause that sucks. And I will say too, I do know somebody that was like an extended family member whose daughter moved in with her during her final years of life and spent all of her money on QVC. The daughter didn't, and they didn't work. And they both, like, the daughter was addicted to painkillers and went through all of her parents' money, but she brought the parents so much joy just having her presence in the home, and that they did not care. And I knew the brother, and the brother knew that this was happening, and it bothered him so much. But the parents didn't care.
Right.
And
They
so
were
there's
like,
nothing you
mind
can
your own
do.
business. It's our money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's hard. Family dynamics. I mean, especially when people aren't behaving the way we want them to, we want to try to change it, and we can't do that. I mean, so I would just say for her to offer to the dad, to talk to the dad, have a heart to heart with him, say, this is what my concern is. If she comes from a wet place of like saying, this is what my concern is, I, don't want you to end up not having enough money. We want you to live to be 100. And, that's whatever. And then hopefully the dad receives it in the way that she's trying to say it's coming from a place of concern and not control. And she'll be able to figure it out. But I think you gave good suggestions, like, having the brother do certain things around the house as a barter for rent if he's not going to
Mhm.
pay. So yeah, it's hard. I know families are, whew, families can be the most joy and also the most like drama. Okay, well, I have a good one. This one, we're gonna get right into the juicy stuff. So this comes from a 62-year-old listener who is married, and she and her husband have not had sex in 3 years. And she was wondering if that is normal, and what age do people stop having sex?
Think that that is not normal. And if one, your husband isn't initiating sex, there's likely erectile dysfunction happening, and is besides his penis just not working, right? Like, that means other health issues are coming, and he's having major health issues. And if she's not interested in sex, that's also like, look, because my sex drive is non-existent right now. I am working hard to get it back though, because I understand that not only is it just good for my marriage, it helps me live longer.
Yeah.
It's proven, right? So, Aaron, talk about, like, it's not just about being horny, like if you're in the mood or not.
Well,
No.
what it is, it just shows that you have good hormones, which we need hormones for good health. Hormones aren't just for reproduction or sex. I mean, there is so many other benefits that, and there's so much more information now about estrogen for women and progesterone and testosterone, and how we don't just have estrogen localized in our ovaries and like, oh, we only need estrogen at this point in our, at our cycle. There's estrogen receptors throughout your entire body, your brain especially. But if you have a healthy sex drive, that means you have good health, like, because you have good blood flow. And for men with erectile dysfunction it's like a 14% greater chance of having a heart attack within 7 years of onset of erectile dysfunction than someone without erectile dysfunction. So it gives them a little bit more of a chance because it's a blood flow issue, right? So
Mhm.
usually men with erectile dysfunction have high blood pressure. That's one of the causes for erectile dysfunction. And erectile dysfunction a ho- is not always a hormone issue for men, because lots of men who can get on testosterone will still have erectile dysfunction. So it's not, hold on. So just adding testosterone doesn't remedy the erectile dysfunction because it's a blood flow issue. So
And a
But
lot of men are uncomfortable with saying that. So I think if your husband is not coming to you that he wants to have sex and it's been a long time like this, I definitely think there's likely a health issue happening.
yes.
So, and I think that you should call him out on it and yourself. Like, hey, I think we both might be having health issues here we need.
Right, right. And also women, and if that's the thing, they say use it or lose it. And that
Yeah.
is definitely for your sexual genitals, for your genitals, that if you don't use them, you'll lose it. You will lose the ability to use it. But I think so many other benefits come from, and so when she says, is it at what age do you stop having sex? And I think that is a very personalized decision in age. Because someone that has significant health problems, like if somebody has COPD, which is like a lung breathing issue, emphysema, or is going through cancer treatment, things happen in life where sex becomes very like bottom of the barrel important, right? But you don't necessarily have to have penetrative, hold on. You don't necessarily have to have sex to have a healthy intimacy life
True.
with your partner. So that could include things like massaging each other. That could be just, oral stimulation of one or both, like give and take to each other. It could just be lying naked together, putting your bodies together, getting that oxytocin, which is that feel good hormone that, is your bonding chemical. Because I know for me, and you and I have talked about this maybe in other episodes, and if not, we've talked about it personally, that when I'm not naked, skin to skin with my husband on a regular basis, I feel very disconnected from him. I mean, it's not necessarily because we both have had health issues over the years. I've had a pacemaker, I've had breast cancer, things like that have put me sometimes where my sex drive isn't, the priority. But if I'm not like close to him, it's weird. It's like I need to be like naked next to him to feel connected to him. Otherwise, I'm like, it's like he's just a roommate that's annoying me and sleeps in my bed. And, I'm like, who are you? Why are you here? So I think that, if both she and her husband are like,
I
okay,
think
like,
they're content. That's the problem.
oh, and you can get complacent. And it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm not ever like when my husband walks in the door, I'm not like, take me to bed right now. I mean, I
Yeah.
wish I used to be that way, right? Where he could walk in the room and I could just see him and I'd be like, oh my God, but I mean, we've been married, it'll be 36 years this year. So this December. So I'm not ever like, if you don't take me now, I'm going to like explode. It's more like planned.
Hmm.
It's more like it takes more work. But women also are turned on in our brains first,
Yeah.
our
That's
genitals.
me. I have to feel like we're best friends. Otherwise, you can forget it. If I
Yeah,
feel disconnected on a friendship level, there's no chance. I don't care what you look like. I think my husband is very physically attractive, but it does not matter how good he looks if we are not
that's
close.
exactly. So you have to have that intimacy with each other before you can have the sexual part of it. But I think, what I would suggest for her is to open the dialogue, be very non confrontational, like, hey, I've just been thinking that, I know we haven't had sex in a while and, I missed that part of our lives and I just wanted to see how you feel about it. Like, are you missing that? And then just see what he says. And a lot of men do. There are, it's very culturally
Shameful.
right for men because it's very culturally like held up like you're virile and you just like men they want to have sex all the time and they don't. I think that's a misconception. I think they feel pressure to be not all men but some men to be like that virile like Casanova who's just like keeping women off their feet and they get insecure and when they are having erectile dysfunction I mean they get embarrassed and they feel very shameful and instead they'll chalk it up to stress at work or whatever. And stress is a sex killer too, right? I mean, like it's hard to feel sexy when you're stressed out about something, work or family events. But I would just, if you're married to the person and if there is 62, they've probably been married for a while. I'd just want to say like, hey, like we haven't had sex, I know, for a while and I miss it. And how do you feel? Like, or is it something you miss? Like, is there something that maybe we can like do that's different? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that can lead into our next question because somebody says that they're no longer attracted to their spouse. And so if you lose attraction for someone, I mean, what do you do with that? She says he looks old and she is maintaining her physical appearance and works hard at maintaining her physical appearance. And he has just let himself go.
That's That's very hard because I mean, like
I mean,
part of
that could go either way.
yeah, I mean, I understand it. Like, having a physical attraction, a physically attractive spouse is nice when somebody, you get attracted with your eyes, but I wonder if it goes even deeper with that. It's not about how he looks, it's about the fact that he's let himself go, like she almost has lost respect for him more
Yeah.
than
That's what I'm wondering because she like has expressed that she feels like they're best friends and they have a good time together, like they enjoy each other's company, but she just looks at him like there's nothing. So I think that it's very possible, right, that on a different level. It's a loss of respect, or maybe even it could even be respect in how you were choosing to live your physical life. Like it could be you're being lazy and I don't respect that, or you're choosing to eat like a slob or not like care for groom or whatever. And so even though we are good friends, then that can just cross over into that completely platonic if you're not.
yeah. Yeah, because also she's like, I'm doing everything I can to stay attractive for you. It's not that she's trying to stay attractive to other people. I mean, it's like she's like, I want you to find me attractive. And yes, we're going to all age and like, looking old. I don't know exactly what she means by that. If he's getting gray hair, if he's balding, those are things that you can't necessarily help, especially the balding. And he may not want to have to take the, minoxidil and all of that, to
Mhm.
grow hair. But it's probably more about his lack of effort in trying to stay attractive for her, because then it shows that he doesn't have a lot of regard for her. Like, I've always tried to stay attract Jeff. Like, I want him to find me attractive. And I know, I mean, there's going to be people who are going to disagree with this 100, that you love the person for the person. And I do. Like, I mean, I know he loves me regardless of, because even when I look terrible, he loves me. But I'm just saying, like, I have not ever, like, I know this we're going to get maybe some emails about this, but I don't want to let myself go. I mean, like, I still want to like shave my legs and like, put on makeup and fix my hair and dress cute so that he thinks that I'm attractive.
And well, I just think if someone is letting themselves go on the level of like a great physical change, then something is going on mentally within that person. And so it definitely can hinder your sexual attraction to that person. But I think maybe it's time to like dial it in on a different level with them. Like, hey, I'm just concerned. Like, I love you no matter what. But I've noticed that you're letting these things, you don't care about these things as much. And I also know that those are usually signs of like discontentment in life or something.
Depression.
Yeah. And so what can we do? Like, where do you feel like you need to add some spice back? When we were on the belly dancing episode and she used the word ignite, like she had that, that resonated with me because I was like, sometimes I don't like, I just feel kind of blah. Like I'm not depressed, but sometimes I just feel like meh. And I'm like, I'm looking to ignite myself and like what is, I want to ignite my own passions. And so maybe the spouse needs that as well. Like, I don't know.
No, for
I would
sure.
start trying to like dig deep to figure out what is going on. I would not be rude when you say it. People are very sensitive to their appearances and people have long memories. And so try very hard to not be like, you've gained 20 pounds and blah, blah, blah.
Right. It's not about the 20 pounds, but it's like more about why they've gained the 20 pounds. Is it because maybe they're depressed and so they're not moving as much? Or maybe they're stress eating. So trying to figure out, is there some, like, yeah, she doesn't need to come at him like, hey, I'm not attracted to you because you look old, because we all change. I mean, like, But I still, even when I'm going to be, 85 and married, and Jeff and I will have been married for 65 years by then, I still want him to think that I'm cute. I
Mhm.
want him to like, and it's not for anyone else. And some people will have an issue with that because they'll say, like, you shouldn't try to design yourself around a man or whatever. And I'm not, but he's like my spouse. And I just, like I mean, when I say cute too, I mean, it's like, personality, everything, it's not just like, well, because I'm very low maintenance. You know that. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not like, I don't do eyelashes. I don't do like Botox, filler, any of that, but it's more about just like having
Like
some
just caring for yourself.
period. Yeah, like, you know, making sure that I'm not stinky and, so
I will say like something like when my husband, so he will color his hair. He uses like it's not like a dye, it's like a dark, because he has naturally black hair and he is graying. And so he uses like it's like a dark soap bar. I don't know what it is. If anyone is curious, just message me and I will get the link for him. And so he just puts the soap in his hair and it like kind of makes it darker. So it's still salt and peppery looking versus just gray white. But sometimes whenever his hair gets more gray looking, I look at him and I'm like, shit, like we're
he's old.
old.
Yeah.
And it's more like about me, I think, because we've been together for so long that I'm like, I don't notice that whenever he's doing the when it looks salt and pepper, but when it looks more like white all over, then I'm like, wait a second.
They're like, "Who is this?" Yeah,
I'm
like,
like, I'm old. Like, not only does he look
yeah.
older, but then it's like, it's more like a wake up call to me. And so part of me wonders if that's what she's feeling too. Like, if she, because I know this person and I know her husband and he is attractive. And so it's not a matter of, I don't know. I haven't asked for elaboration from her, but I'm wondering if it's like, he does look older. He has aged, but is it more of like, it's a wake up call that you're really, you know what I mean?
And I think ultimately it's probably she feels like she's doing all the things she can to still stay fit and, just like
And young
active
looking
and
and
like, and maybe she feels like, and so she's not getting it reciprocated from him. And that to her is almost like that means he's not investing in himself for me. It's like anytime that, if he was like saying, "Hey, I'm going to go to the gym," or whatever, then she knows he's wanting to stay, strong and healthy for her. So, well, let's stay on the spouse thing because this one is really a good one. So what do you do? And this could be with husband or wife. So it could go both ways. When you have a friend that is overly flirty and develops friendships with, so let's say if it was one of our girlfriends and she is very overly flirty with all of her girlfriend husbands and develops friendships like has inside jokes or whatever. And it could be the other way as well. Like a husband that's like super friendly with all of his wives, girlfriends and like text them separately or what have you.
yeah, I actually know a couple people like this, and I used to be closer with both of them, and I have distanced myself because for me, I don't respect that type of behavior. And I know that they don't look at it like that. They are just a flirty person, and that's just who they are. And I don't feel threatened by that. I just don't like it. It just does not resonate with me, and it's not someone I want to keep in my inner circle if that's the type, even though they have never been around my husband because my husband is antisocial, and so doesn't do like gatherings, but I see them around other people's and I think that that is disrespectful and I just think I don't
It's
like it.
really disrespectful. Yeah.
And I don't respect that person and I would not be I cannot be friends with that person. And like I can be friendly because I have manners and I'm nice, but I wouldn't you're not in my inner circle if that's who you are.
Yeah. Do you think that if you had someone in your life, like let's say that you and Chris were at a social event, just happened to be, and someone was flirty with him, would you let him handle it or would you handle it?
I would handle it.
You would.
I would because I look at that as it's like a triggering thing for me. And I don't know where that is rooted in for me. I feel like I know him, he would not flirt with the wall. Like, there's no chance. He is an introvert. Does not talk to anybody. So if anyone is being flirty, it is definitely not him. I had to throw myself at him when we first got together.
We're like, I'm flirting with you.
Yes.
I like
So
you. Like, come on.
there's no chance that he is out flirting with someone. And so if somebody is sending him signals and if I'm picking up on it, like, I feel I would say something
You
because
would say something to that person.
yeah, that's disrespecting to me. So I feel like you're being a bitch to me. Why? What's going on here? That's inappropriate. Like, I feel like this is about me. There's no, like, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to take your shit somewhere. My husband would literally never say anything. Like, he's so nice.
He wouldn't say.
He might even be oblivious that it's happening.
So my husband used to work with a lady who I knew she had a crush on him. She was married, don't get me wrong. There's actually been two over the years. One who was new, she was divorced at the time. And he says now, years later, that he thinks that he's like, yeah, you might have been right. Cause I was like, she has a crush on you. He's like, no, he always is like, he would never think somebody, had a crush.
Chris, I'm like, she probably he's like, no, she doesn't.
Yeah. And then finally he did say, this is 20 years later. He was like, yeah, you might have been right. I mean, he's like, it was never overt, but it was like there was some undercurrent. But I was like, I can tell she's got at like work events. That a couple times I was like, yeah, she's got a crush on him. And then one was more recent. And it wasn't that this particular woman, she doesn't work there any longer, but I'd say, I think that she really likes you, but I think it was more that she really respected his brain.
Yes.
But I think that she had a crush on him. And also, she's the breadwinner in her family, and her husband is not hasn't been successful. He was kind of not really he wasn't a house husband because he didn't fully stay home, but he just never was super ambitious and he wasn't very driven. And so I think there was something about that she liked about Jeff, that and he's just, no matter what needs to get done, he gives 110%. He's just somebody, he's solid. You can count on him. And I would say yeah, I know that, so-and-so Jane Doe has a crush on you. And he's like, no, don't say that. Blah, 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 So he would never entertain it. So I actually, if we were at a social event and someone was flirting with him, I don't think I would say anything. I would let him handle it. Unless it crossed the line, if somebody sat in his lap.
Well, for sure. No.
That happened in our old neighborhood. There was a neighbor who she, at a party, my old neighborhood that my kids grew up in, it caused a big stink. She sat in one of her friend's husband's lap at a party.
That is bizarre behavior.
A lot of, the grapevine was great. And I was like, oh yeah, that's when, the hood Erin would come out, and I would get into a fist fight for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. But just flirting, I might just be I actually might be kind of sit back and watch and see how he reacts. Cause he wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah. Chris wouldn't either. I don't know why I take that as so offensive.
It is disrespectful.
Yeah.
But I think
and I would be like, you are not going to disrespect me.
But I mean, none of my good friends would ever do that.
No. And yeah, mine either.
Good taste in friends, right?
Yeah, there's no chance.
I mean, I would never, when you came to visit me, if I had to leave the house and leave you and Jeff here, I would not be worried for a second. Right? I mean, it's the only people that are in my inner circle are people that I know their character, and I would never worry. So.
Yeah, I actually had a friend that was flirty with somebody's husband in our neighborhood, and I could never get over it. I was like, this is our friendship's done.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, because it says a lot about that person.
It does. It's and you literally live near this person too. It's not just some rando that
when you're on vacation.
Yeah, like, I mean, I know people that are like she just happens to be very flirty. Like, if she dropped a napkin and like a guy next to her picked it up, it wouldn't matter if he was 350 pounds. She'd be like touching him. Oh, honey, thank you. Like, kind of flirty like that. That's
You
just
know,
her
I touch
personality.
people a lot, but I touch men and women.
Right. And so,
I touch people and I've tried to like it's not a flirty thing because I'm not speaking in a flirty way, but it like to
right,
me,
like
I
she
just
is. That's what I was saying. Like, she would be like, oh, honey, like, so it's not, but it's not about a sexual appearance. Like, she's just like that.
uh-huh.
But I don't like it. So you're not in my inner circle.
Yeah, yeah. I touch girls a lot too. Like if I'm talking to somebody that I just meet,
Yeah.
I reach out and touch their arm and I'm like, some people don't like to be touched. So I'm trying to like be
I've never noticed that about you, but maybe because I don't
yeah, I
it doesn't
do.
bother me if you touch me, so I'm like,
I just it's just like a I'm like if you said something and I agreed, I would reach out. You probably just haven't noticed it because we're close friends and it doesn't bother you. We've, slept in the
yeah,
same room and it's so well in the same bed. So, but I think even people I just meet, like if I'm sitting next to you and like you say something, oh my gosh, it's like
mhm,
I think it's just like it's like a way to like I connect with what you said. Like that makes
yeah.
because somebody has said something to they're like, you touch people a lot. I'm like, do I? Oh gosh, okay. Like I don't wanna like I don't think I'm flirty at all. I don't
No.
good flirt game actually, because I'm very awkward.
And I don't even think necessarily that touching or saying nice things means that you're flirty. Like my brother-in-law, every time he sees me, he gives me a kiss and a hug and he's like, "Hi honey, you look beautiful." Gives me a kiss. There's
There's
no
no flirting.
flirty undercurrent. Like that's just who he is. He's Italian, they kiss everybody and everyone's honey, honey, like I don't know, I didn't but I have never once felt a slight like never. Like and even though or he'll be like, "Oh, you look so nice today, honey," like and there's an energy behind the flirtiness that
Yes.
you can just pick up on. Like, so it's not just about people that say, honey, sweetie, or that are touchy. There's an energy there that we
Yeah.
are picking up on that we can
Yeah, because his
decipher.
wife is like, that's just him. He does that. Everybody that comes over is like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, so nice or whatever.
Yeah. It's like nothing.
I actually like that.
Yeah.
You know,
It's nice because then you feel like, oh, it's warm. Like, oh, you're like being kind of enveloping and accepting, and it feels good. It doesn't feel inappropriate. If you have other questions that you would like to hear our takes on, shoot us a message on Instagram or you can email us at estrogendropouts@gmail.com. But that's it. I think this has been fun.
yeah. If you haven't already, though, hit the follow button on the podcast.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
This has been a production of Estrogen Dropouts, LLC.